Welcome to this video from the Worcestershire Careers Hub team for National Careers Week 2021. My name's Matt Tope and I'm the Careers Hub Manager for the Worcestershire Local Enterprise Partnership. Today we will be discussing our amazing special educational needs students and hope to provide them with some useful advice as they consider their transition towards the world of work. Joining me today are a number of our partners where they will share with us some information about how they're already helping both our SEND students and our schools to deliver high quality careers education and help prepare our students for a life beyond school. We're going to start this video today by meeting Emma, who's one of our careers leaders working within our SEND schools. She will also be joined by one of her students called James. Hi Emma, thanks for joining this National Careers Week session. Before we start, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Hi, thanks Matt. I'm Emma Nolan. I'm from Chadsgrove Special School in Worcestershire. I am the Careers Transition and Work Related Coordinator in school. It's my job to help prepare our students onto the pathway for adulthood.
We're also very lucky to be joined by James today. James, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Hello, my name is James and I am 15. I'm a pupil at Chadsgrove School.
Your school's been part of the Careers Hub now for the past 2 years, Emma. Can you tell us how this has helped change or shape the delivery of careers activities within school?
Yeah, the Worcestershire Careers Hub has been invaluable to us. They've given us loads and loads of advice and resources and activities, and they're a helping hand as well. If we've got an idea or if we're trying to meet a benchmark, they can help us think outside the box to be able to do it.
James, can I ask how the careers activities you are taking part in school have helped you prepare for the future? Can you also tell us what you'd now like to be when you leave school and grow up?
I'm given the chance to try different activities in our lessons, such as teamwork, enterprise, and helping the community out. I would like to be a computer editor and editing TV programs.
We've just heard from James speak about his career aspirations. Can you tell us a little bit more about some of the pathways or opportunities that are available to your students in preparation for them leaving school?
So I guess our ultimate aim really is to get as many pupils as possible into paid employment. That is what we really want to do. We look at it in sort of a holistic way, that we will pupils that are on the pre-formal pathway, we will get them ready into, so they go and visit specialist colleges, they go and do link events with social care settings, so they're ready for that transition. Those on the those on the semi-formal pathway, we will get those going out again in the community. We'll do link events, we'll get them taking a bit of ownership and presenting sort of at fates and at business enterprise events, those kind of things, and getting them involved in the world of work. You know, with the formal pathway, those are the pupils that, although initially there are barriers, they don't know what they want to do, we'll introduce and we'll support them in a work experience placement so that they can, when we're supporting them, we'll then pull back on that support so they're there on their own eventually. And we've had a couple that definitely it's worked for them. They've gone down a different route, and they're actually, and it's allowed the parents to engage, that their pupils can actually get into the world of work. They just need a little bit of a hand and a little bit of a pathway of how to get there. We've got pupils that have gone on to do internships with other companies. We've got pupils that have got summer jobs through the work experience that they've done. And it just proves the point that with a little bit of help, you know, rather than looking at them as unable to do things, they can do things, and there are things in the workplace that our pupils can do, and they achieve it really, really well, and they're such good fun to have as part of a team.
Is it realistic for an SEND student to think about entering the employment and taking up paid work?
Yeah, absolutely, it is. With the right encouragement and the right pathway and the right support, Yes, absolutely. They can get into paid employment, and there are so many jobs out there that if you can just change a mindset of just getting an SEND pupil into your workplace, they are invaluable. The things that they bring to the table are invaluable.
Emma, can you tell me a little bit more about how adults, teachers, and even parents can support SEND students with their transition into the world of work?
I think, it is a whole joined up thing that we all need to be doing. The transition into the world of work, teachers, giving them the skills that they need to be independent thinkers, to money management, time management, all those kind of things are really, really important. And, within our school, they're embedded in everything that we do anyway. We're always giving them the independent skills. Parents, again, that's a joined up thing. It's great because we do talk a lot with our parents, and we've got them on board, and we say, look, we've got these ideas, your son or your daughter is looking at doing this kind of thing. We can help them get into some sort of work placement for a certain amount of time, but it'd be really good if you go and get them to volunteer in a shop over the summer or anything like that, just to get them used to that little bit of taking ownership of it. I just think that if the more pupils that we've got going, more SEND pupils that are going into the work placement, the more aware people are of what their abilities are rather than their disabilities. I mean, we've got a fantastic connection with a local company that has taken on two of our pupils, and even the dad afterwards with one of the pupils when she finished her placement, and they offered her a job there. He was in tears. He said, I never ever thought that my daughter would get a job. So that is really powerful, and that's a really massive thing that we've taken her in there, we've supported her, but the parents were there as well. They were on board because through the summer they would have had to have taken her and transported her. So it's having companies that are on board that are forward thinking as well. So if we can all do the same, and we all want the same, we all want these pupils in paid employment, we all play a part in it, I think.
James, have you undertaken any volunteering or work experience while you've been at school? And if so, what did you enjoy most about it?
Yes, I have. I helped the local police at Bronxborough washing the cars. I also helped do up their communal garden in the police station. And it also, sometimes the police came out and helped us wash with the cars. We also got to see some very cool things like police dogs or armed response units coming out, and we also got to play with the police cars sirens.
One final question, James. Do you have a top tip that you'd like to share with other SEND students as they plan their journey towards the world of work?
Yes, I have a tip. It doesn't matter that you are different. You can try anything you can be, and you can be anything you want to. It may take a little bit harder work, but you can still do it.
Thank you both so much for your time today. And James, may I wish you the best of luck in the future. And I really, really look forward to hearing about you becoming a video editor real soon. Next, we will hear from somebody who is leading on a number of programs to support the development of careers education nationally for SEND students. Hi, Kelly. Thanks for joining us for this National Careers Week session. Before we start, would you kindly introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about you?
Thanks, Matt, and thank you for having me today. It's lovely to be able to speak to you all. So my name's Kelly Dillon and I work for the Careers and Enterprise Company. I am the Education Manager for SEND Disadvantaged, and I manage our resource directory.
We've just heard from Emma, who's spoken about the transition pathways available to students across Worcestershire, and from her student James, who's told us a little bit more about his own career aspirations. Kelly, could you tell me a little bit more about why it is so important for students to be offered the opportunity to enter the world of work, and what support is available to them nationally?
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, it's really important for every young person to have that exposure to the workplace, to enable them to really see the possibilities for them. And for young people with SEND, it's about building their confidence and really enabling them to make that transition. There are lots and lots of different pathways open to young people with SEND that offer that extra bit of support to ensure that they do feel fully equipped and ready to enter that world of work in a positive way for them and their parents and the other people around them.
Kelly, can you tell me who are the biggest influencers in their decision-making process?
So when we're thinking about influencers, it's always the people that are around that young person, so particularly their parents, and them really talking about aspirations and what's possible for them. We've then got the teachers and the learning support assistants that support them, so they really do influence what that young person would see as a possible option for them when they do make those next steps.
What are the biggest barriers facing SEND students?
When we think about barriers, unfortunately for young people with SEND, there are a number. Lots of them are around aspiration raising and really seeing what is possible. And that can come from their parents not really having an understanding of how they can enter that world of work properly and the support that's available, to the young person themselves believing that they are not the right person for that job. So it is really about them overcoming those barriers and how we can support them by raising awareness, getting them exposure to employers, really building that pathway for them so that they feel really confident in making those next steps and do truly believe that that is something that they are more than capable of, which is the case as we know.
What work is currently being undertaken nationally by the Careers and Enterprise Company to provide our SEND students with more support to help them enter the world of work?
So at the Careers and Enterprise Company, we really can see that more work is needed to support these young people. So we've got a number of initiatives at the moment. We've got our SEND community of practice, which involves 32 careers hubs across England, each of which have been given a small pot of funding to really drive the activity that they've got to support these young people. So there are lots of different things that are happening as part of that, including parental awareness, employer engagement, resource development. In particular, we've had some fantastic resources from Inspiring Worcestershire team that we have managed to circulate across our network. And the learnings from those community of practices will enable other areas to really push their activity for young people with SEND. We've got lots of other things going on. We're working with our partners to really ensure that resources developed are suitable for young people with SEND in no matter where they may sit within that spectrum, within that disability. We really do want to support them. We're doing a lot of work around enabling employer encounters. We've got some investment funds that are due to finish in March that there again will be some learnings from that around mentoring, around particular groups of young people with SEND and how we can best support them. So there's an awful lot of work going on, and that will continue over the next year as well, and really develop and share that practice.
Wow, that really sounds amazing, Kelly. You touched on it there, but can I ask for more of an explanation about what role employers are playing in supporting this activity?
Yeah, of course. Employers are really, really keen to support our young people with SEND. And the biggest barrier for them is understanding how best to do that. So as part of the projects that are ongoing, there is a lot of work going into raising that awareness of employers as to how they can best support those young people with SEND. There are a number of fantastic employers that already have programmes. For example, National Grid have got a brilliant supported internship programme, and there's lots of others. It's something that really is an area that employers want to get involved in. It's just about raising their confidence to enable them to do that better.
Kelly, can I ask what advice you would give to any parents of our SEND students about how they could go about picking the right transition for their son or daughter?
Transition for any young person is obviously a huge part, and it can be really challenging, but particularly for our young people with SEND, where they may not really have awareness of all of the possible pathways open to them. So it's really important as a parent that you do your research. You know your young person better than anybody else as to what environment they would fit into, what they absolutely love doing, you know, where their interests might be and what they're actually capable of. So it's about liaising with the school or college where your young person is and hearing from them and really getting that support, but also raising your awareness around the options that are open. There's lots of advice and guidance out there from many charities, MenCap, for example, Scope. There's lots of different ways that you can find out about the different pathways that are available, and then you can make that informed choice for your young person.
Kelly, what would your advice be to any of our amazing SEND students listening today?
My first bit of advice would be a line from my favourite SEND school up here in the Tees Valley: focus on what you can do, not what you can't. And that's the biggest thing for our young people with SEND. It's about them believing in themselves. They are so capable of entering the world of work, and they just need to really show people what they can do, because once you see that, then any employer would be beating the door to get them employed, because they are all absolutely fantastic. And it is just about making sure you are able to tell that employer all about yourself in the best possible way.
Kelly, thank you so much for your time today. Let's hope this amazing work continues to grow, and we get to see many, many more opportunities becoming available for our SEND students in the future. In this next section, we're going to hear from a local employer about how they're supporting our SEND students across Worcestershire. I'm delighted to introduce Natalie. Natalie, can you tell us a little bit about you and where you come from?
Hi, Natalie Cutler. I'm the HR manager at Bumblehole Foods. We're a local family company in Bromsgrove. We do egg products, so we literally break millions and millions of eggs, produce a liquid product, and we send that off to lots of things that you would recognise, like Marks and Spencer's and Greggs.
Thanks for that, Natalie. I understand that you're also part of our Enterprise Advisor Network, working closely with one of our SEND schools. Would you be kind enough to tell me a little bit more about the role and how you support our schools?
Yeah, we actually work very closely with Chadsgrove School. It's a local school. It's literally walking distance from the factory. We've done a lot of work over the years, just like sort of Christmas support, putting Christmas gifts in, making contributions, Easter. But Emma has been talking to me in the last couple of years about how we could perhaps work in regards to satisfying some of the career curriculum. So we started a work experience project. We've had one plus a little bit examples so far. We were a little bit curtailed by COVID this year, but we've had one really successful experience where we've had one of their students come up and spend some time with us, and we did a full work experience program, and this person was so brilliant and we got so much from it. We actually employed them over the summer as well, and it's really helped them, and it's helped us. We're also doing lots of videos as well, you know, because COVID has curtailed what we really want to do. So we're doing lots of videos and material to support the students in what the different jobs are available, and what is around, and the journey from school to work. I've got to be honest, it's been great fun. It's not a chore or anything like that. It's a delightful job. It's brilliant.
It's great news to hear that Bumblehole Foods have taken that big step into supporting SEN students. Did you face any challenges in particular when you were supporting Ashley through her work experience program?
Yeah, there were a few. It wasn't ever going to be a straightforward exercise, but I think that's more the learning process. That's what we get from it as a company. it's understanding that just because someone has particular needs or needs particular support, it shouldn't be investigated and looked at. We've had to sort of be very imaginative. We clearly want to give our work experience people as much opportunity to experience as much as possible in working life. We found it was important for us to sort of show Ashley and later on Angel the different elements of work so that they can find what they're good at, what they like doing. And so we wanted to give them every experience. So we spoke to the school, we spoke to the parents, and we spoke to the individual and said, right, what do we need to do to help you do this job or make you feel comfortable and safe in doing this job? And so there's been a lot of work with Emma and myself in preparing us so we can actually make this a really positive experience for the individual. But it's been great for us. It just dealing with someone that needs a bit of support with reasonable adjustments that you make, having that imagination. It's been a wonderful experience for us from a learning point of view, but also from a morale point of view. Just having someone around and having that positive impact.
That sounds amazing, Natalie. Can you expand a little bit and tell me if this has had any more impact on your existing staff? But also, has there been any benefits, wider benefits to the organisation?
Absolutely, yes. As far as morale is concerned, which is a big thing for me as HR manager, it's had a wonderful impact. Everyone has been queuing up to meet these people, to meet our SEND students. I've got people in the office that want to spend time with them. I've got people on the workshop floor that want to spend time with them. They come up, and actually getting people from upstairs and downstairs to talk with each other and have something in common and something to get excited about it was brilliant. It was a really positive year and an experience for us, and probably no short contribution from Ashley herself particularly, and Angel was going to go the same way with their positive attitudes and that sunshine approach. As far as wider benefits are concerned, yes, absolutely. We have a CSER policy in place, and we actually entered a competition last year because we were proud of what we've done and excited to do it, and think everyone should do something like this. Can't sell it enough in that way. We won an award with North Worcestershire Business Leaders for our CSER work, and that was around a lot of the charitable work we do, but also it was around the work experience that we're doing with Emma and Chadsgrove.
From an employer's point of view, Natalie, what advice would you give to an SEND student thinking about entering the world of work?
Yeah, it's a tough one, but from an employer's point of view, what became clear with dealing with these two students was that the focus is always on what makes them an SEND student. We're not interested in what people can't do. We don't judge any of our employees in that way. We don't look at someone in front of us and say, what can't you do? What can you do? You can do a lot. And we know at Chadsgrove with the students that we've had, that these students are exposed to so much skill that we can use in the workplace. Think about what you can do and what you can bring. Don't focus on what you can't do. That's too easy. It's too easy and it's unfair on you. So come to work, tell us what you can do, and don't be afraid in these experiences to try everything. It's not about making mistakes or not making mistakes. It's about having a go and understanding what it is you like. What do you get from it? What gives you a thrill when you complete it? What gets you excited? Because you know, it's not about coming to Bumblehole for the rest of your lives, although we probably would have taken both of them with us. It's about getting you ready for that wider, unsupported world out there, and to show you that you can do it. What can you do? What do you want to do?
Thanks, Natalie. That sounded like some really brilliant advice for an SEND student to consider. On the flip side now, is there any advice that you would also give to the parents of an SEND student and how they could possibly support their son and daughter through this transition process?
Yeah, there is. I mean, what we didn't expect and we got when we were working with Ashley from Chadsgrove is we actually developed a really good relationship with her parents. We went through on quite a journey with Ashley, and it was important that the school were involved, but it was important that when we employed her during that summer break, when it wasn't work experience, so it was outside the school remit, we developed that relationship with the parents. They came in, they spoke to us, we showed them what we were doing, and it's a little bit, don't be afraid to get involved early on and ask questions, because I think they were reassured. There was the doubt that actually we would maybe damage her confidence. Would we treat her in the right way? You know, is it cheap labour? Is it a cheap stunt? And of course the answers to all that is no. But they're absolutely fair concerns and fears to have. So get involved. Have a chat with the person that's setting the work up, because particularly with Ashley, who thought, actually, I want to work here forever, which is great and lovely and very flattering. But with discussion with the parents, it was actually, no, we're not going to have you. It was a hard conversation, but we're not going to have you, because the right thing for you is to go to college. It's to go to college, expand on what you've already learnt, and then make the right decision for you and find your way. And I hope that reassures parents. We're here to help them. We're here to help Chadsgrove. We're working in partnership with both of those parties.
Once again, Natalie, some fabulous tips there. My sort of final question to you today is, it's really important for us to encourage more employers to get involved in supporting SEND students. What would you say to an employer who's either considering supporting an SEND student or actually hasn't even thought about considering an SEND student yet?
That's easy. Go for it. Go for it. The support we've had with Chadsgrove has been brilliant. They have taken such a lot of work and effort with us to make sure that we get the right SEND student to the right sort of company. They've been so conscientious about that. It's been nothing but a positive experience. I've mentioned we've won an award. We've been nominated for others. The powerful impact of morale. It was obvious when we were enjoying the experience, but the loss of it over COVID has been palpable. So do it. And from an HR point of view as well, your imagination, the way you look at your people, the way you look at your staff, it really does focus you on what can people do, not what can they not do, but what can they do, and that positive, imaginative sort of thing that comes from that. So yes, do it. It's a bit of work, but it's been so rewarding and so positive. It's almost cheating to call it work. It's been a real labour of love from all of us, from the MD, the owner, to the guys doing the hard work on the factory floor. Everyone's taken part and taken ownership, and that for any employer is a wonderful wonderful asset. How do I engage my staff? I'll tell you what, go and find your SEND school and talk to them about having that positive impact on the community, because the pride you get from it is absolute. Well, it's hard to actually put it into words. I'm sold, and we will be doing this as soon as COVID is done. We will be doing this for as long as Chadsgrove want us.
Natalie, thank you so much for your time today. I've really enjoyed hearing from you, not only about your role as an enterprise advisor, the work that you at Bumblehole Foods have been doing to support the SEND students at Chadsgrove. Congratulations again on the award, but also I'm really looking forward to hearing more and more stories from the organisation once COVID's over, and how you're continuing to support SEND students in Worcestershire. Thank you for joining me today as we learn more about the different ways in which our amazing SEND students are supported both locally and nationally to prepare them for a life beyond school. If you would like to get involved yourself as a local employer or as an individual, or want to explore some more of the pathways open to SEND students, then please follow in the Inspiring Worcestershire Careers Hub social media channels, visit the Skills for Worcestershire website, or call the Careers Worcestershire helpline. Thank you.